why play matters.
Huge topic right now. I mean, people are talking about play all over. It's such I think it's a very deeply misunderstood topic, because most people, when they think of play, they think of toys or sports games. And I don't think people really understand, in this culture of an epidemic of anxiety and aggression, we have kids who are not coping. And truly, we believe that it's greatly linked to the loss of free play in our culture.
Yeah, I think we're just starting to catch the edge of the importance and the key role of what that is, and why we need it. You know, why is it important? It isn't just this frivolous thing that is out there. And
yeah, it's crazy. We both get invited to give talks, and I'm not usually invited to talk about play. I'm invited to talk about aggression or anxiety or what's going on with our kids. Like, why? I mean, we didn't see this so many years ago, when children were literally weren't feeling anxious in the way that they are now, or these outbursts of aggression. And I'm not invited to speak about play, but we get there. That's where we end up landing at every talk. When people all of a sudden look at what has shifted in our culture, we have replaced play with entertainment, and they're absolutely not the same thing.
No.
If you look at entertainment, which is what so many of us spend hours and hours of our day doing, which is just absorbing information or mindless things coming into us. Entertainment is like an in-breath, and play is nature's way of giving us, and particularly all of us, but greatly so children, this out-breath. And we have kids who are breathing in and in and in and in, and they are going to school with no room, full of not a good way, saturated, not in a good way, and they're at home, they're antsy and they're bored easily because they have nowhere to get out what they need to get out.
Well, yeah, there's nowhere to process, right? Like, when you think about that play is actually where we process our world. And for children, it comes out in their play. And we're not talking here necessarily about things like video games. We're talking here about that, those natural areas where they just take whatever is around them. And it becomes a way to work through things, for things to come out, to practice things.
It's absolutely but for that to happen, Tamara, we have to be able to have some boredom. And we are
we're allergic to that.
We are a culture allergic to boredom. And we need, for children, this is the thing about play, is that it takes root in void moments, in these sort of gentle spaces in a child's life where there's rhythm, but there's nothing there. There's just this empty time. And a child doesn't know what to do with themselves. They're lying on the floor, or they're like, I'm bored. And eventually, nature takes over, and they are internally drawn to whatever it is. Whether that's sword fighting, or doodling, or
pulling apart
or
paper,
playing with little animals,
or drawing things, or
composing, or whatever it is. This is the key. In free play, there is a movement inside that draws the child to digest whatever it is they need to digest in their world. And when you take this away from a child, there's going to be massive consequences on their emotional health. And we're going to explore this in later chats, but when you take this place away, I mean, play is not always fun. As you just mentioned a moment ago, you might be drawing out frustration, and we'll be talking about that soon, about the fact that play is engaging, but not necessarily fun. So I know we'll be exploring that soon, this concept, but we need it's vital, absolutely vital.
It is vital. It matters. Just starting, I've always known this intuitively that it matters, but just starting to see how big that is, and how we've lost, even as adults, we've lost these places. We've lost these places in our adolescents' lives, in our own lives, as adults.
And we never used to have this conversation because our culture was set up so that this wasn't something that we had to think about, because play was just a part of childhood, or we had a day of rest. There didn't used to be stores open on Sundays. It was not about a specific religion. It was just a day of rest. We had embedded times where children came home and just would run outside and do things. And we now, because of our busy economic culture,
we're overstimulated.
We're
overactivities.
and overdriven and overcompetitive. We have kids in programs 24/7 and attached to devices that travel with them. There's no empty moments.
No, there's no empty moments. And some of these activities, they could be wonderful things.
Absolutely.
It's not about that. It's about the time that it takes away. That what we sometimes call downtime, but it's that open time, that void that you were talking about, just to bring that back. And we'll explore more of this.
And you know what? I think the last thing I want to end here. Sorry, I was going to say the last thing is that we need to get comfortable with our kids being uncomfortable with that void moment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sometimes their boredom, because it's busy culture, stirs up something in us where we're like, oh, they're bored. Is that okay?
I gotta do something. Gotta fill it.
But you know what? It's not just okay. It's wonderful. Yeah. It's wonderful. And so we need to learn more about what that void moment's going to give people. What it's going to give children. What can emerge from that space. Yeah.
So we're going to talk about more.
Yes, we're going to talk about more. So, and if you want to, learn more and listen to other chats about ours and other discussions on play, you can just head to rethinkplayproject.com and you can listen to other conversations. Take care.